I guess I'll start talking.
No, I'll introduce myself first, I'm sorry.
Hope we're not going to do it all.
It's a good start. I have a stroke on, by the way. My name is Geert Burke, so I'm from Holland, obviously. I'm a user experience designer, which means that I do this kind of thing. I report to Yasmina for the project, in the sense that she owns the project, so she has to be happy with her ideas coming to life, basically. So she has a strategy, an idea of where things should go. I try to bring that to life. We have designers, we have front-end developers, all sorts of things, and we make this demo. And this demo has been made quickly and, let's say, cheaply, so that anything that surfaces here can be added to the demo and then handed to development, where the real magic happens, actually. So that's me.
I'm Yasmina, and I've been with Sweats for almost a year now. And my role in the project is to make sure that your requirements are reflected in the product. So working very closely with QD, so this is a very exciting phase, because this is where we test our first assumptions, and after that we have some work to do, and after this adjusting and adapting from the user groups, we will start developing. So we plan to start sometime in July, and as we go along, we can give you updates to see to tell where we are, and also when we have a workable beta site, we will be happy to share with you as well, so you can play around. If we can't afford coming back to South Africa, maybe we can just send you the links and you can play around and give your thoughts later. But it will be a few months process.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Well, it's not for TV.
Jean?
Introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm Jean from Unisa, and I do the e-book procurement. So I will be looking at it from a purchasing point of view.
Thank you.
I'm Doreen Snyman, and I'm the e-resource librarian. I don't do a lot of e-book ordering myself, but I will work on some of these platforms, and I hear all the complaints of everybody else.
Oh. And how long have you been here?
Oh, 30 years.
Oh,
I've survived the development of the internet, I always say. But it's my 5th job, so it's not, of course my job didn't exist 30 years ago. So
All right.
I used to be a subject librarian before, and then collection developer now.
Have you seen it all? No.
Yeah, I've seen it all.
Okay.
I'm Sue. I'm a collection developer, so I'm responsible for selecting the e-books.
Okay. And you've been here?
Very long, 25 years.
Also, okay.
Okay, I'm Terry Lynn Harris. I'm also a collection developer, specifically for the College of Science, Engineering and Technology, and they are very much into going electronics. So e-books are a very important part of my selection work. And I've been here 34.5 years. So, but like Dorette, I haven't been in the same job for all that time. I've sort of moved around the library, so.
So, also a very holistic view.
Very.
I'm Marita Snyman. I'm also a collection developer. I'm responsible for economics and the School of Business Leadership. I've also been working in different divisions, but also here for about 25 years. So, yeah.
Wonderful. And you're going to be the
Guinea pig.
actual guinea pig. Well, okay, wonderful. So what we'll start doing is, I'll ask you now to go up and down the screen, just have a look at the whole screen, see what you see, what you don't understand, what you do understand, if there's anything that you think is wonderful.
Okay.
If you click on anything, you'll be led away from the screen, so we're really trying to stay here.
Okay. Okay, what's important for me is a very clear, a screen where you could immediately see I mean, I like a simple screen, a user-friendly screen, something that you could, I mean, that has a certain logic in. So if I look at this screen, okay, you can immediately see, and please colleagues add to what I'm saying. I can see here is, you can search here, right? I see, if I look at, there's the home, there's the search catalog. So I presume if you go to the catalog, okay, that's not now quite clear to me, it's the catalog of your whole, what you provide there. Is it the catalog list of all the sources that is in, that's available? Or I would think maybe I could go directly to my library catalog. It's just now that, you know, if I look at that, because most of the, if I do searches on like eBury platform, I actually want a link with you know, with a catalog. So if I choose an ebook, I actually wanted to know, do you already have that ebook or not? Otherwise, you have a problem with duplication. So catalog, immediately, you know, I had this bit of confusion. Okay, if I look at suppliers, okay, that's quite clear. So it means there will be different suppliers, orders.
No, that's not clear to me. What do you mean by suppliers? Could you have a look at that?
Can I go into suppliers?
Suppliers
Please, yes.
of what?
Do I have to double click?
No, this is actually all there is. So we're building that at the moment.
To compare suppliers.
There's always the, so if we, there's nothing if I go into suppliers.
No, there's not, it's just this, but we want to know what you would expect to see.
Okay, what do I expect if I
Well-
see suppliers? I would probably see a list of the suppliers that you I mean, that you have licenses, agreements with.
Is that publishers?
I'm looking at her for that information.
No. The suppliers are the aggregators.
So you would be comparing Sweats' let's say pricing or availability with EBSCO, eBury, EDL. Are you going to put their information in there as
Exactly.
well?
Not EBSCO,
Not EBSCO,
Okay.
but
So how
not EBSCO.
how many aggregators will there be? Have you
For
already?
example, if it was like the Book of Science and it was available from the publisher direct, let's say it was Wiley, plus you could also get it through eBury, and you could get it through 123 Books, and you could get it through our library, we would list that.
Okay. The only
Why
reason
would you
that
do that? Because you want us to purchase from you? Or her? What is it? Why would you be offering us alternatives?
yes, you would be using Sweats for purchasing, but the actual accessing of the ebooks wouldn't be on this platform. It would be on the supplier platform.
So we would choose which.
Yes.
Oh,
so we will actually use this platform to order for the ordering purposes.
Correct.
Um,
Not accessing.
I mean, I would not, unless I like, say, eBury's platform, then maybe, and I prefer buying, say, books from eBury because of certain features that the platform has. Then I would probably like to go into maybe, I mean, then I'm now thinking, would I rather then go into the eBury platform, you know, separately, or would I then go into eBury here? I mean, if I prefer the eBury platform. I don't know if you other colleagues wanted to add something there. Terry Lynn, do you have something to add? I'm just thinking, I mean, if I want to do a comparison on the prices, then I would like to do a general search. I probably would like to do that as well. Go and search and see a list of where it is available. Maybe that would be, you know, the easiest if I start, because you don't have that much time. You don't want to go separately in eBury and then separately into EBSCO and separately into my iLibrary. I mean, the first entry point, I think the easiest way would actually put in your title and get a list and see immediately. And what also be interesting to me, I would immediately like to see if I have multiple access, single access, or do I have, you know,
Back to catalogue.
back to catalog. Okay,
Scroll
you see
down.
here, I need to scroll down. Okay, scroll down. Multiple users, there's the option multiple users, there's a format, frequency, and then I can request price.
Now, what does
Okay.
multiple users mean?
What would you understand?
I don't
See,
understand.
what I've looked at, if normally the different aggregators use different, I know one of them use unlimited users, and I think eBury use multiple users. But I've,
Yeah, but multiple and unlimited are two different things.
Multiple usually means up to 5, and then unlimited is unlimited.
But you see, this is now already where we've picked up, we're now ordering a lot of different places where we order our e-books. Is that you've now already said 5, but we know that one of the other aggregators use it at 3. So, and we've also discovered they say multiple, and then when we asked, they said no, it only means 3, but you can order unlimited. So the terminology that's being used and what is meant by multiple users is also, I mean, one understand it's more than one, but I mean 2 can also be multiple, and we might not like 2. You might like, what's the categories? Can you choose 2 and 3 and 5
So would it
or
help
what?
you then on that screen,
Yeah.
instead of saying multiple, would it help you to say that it says 2 to 5?
Yeah, but what do you mean by 2 to 5?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're buying a thing multiple, then that means you've got a maximum of 5. Where does
Yeah.
2 come into?
Yeah, why
Well,
you
what to
have
make
that?
From single
Yeah.
user would be 1,
Yeah.
and then you'd have multiple from up to, or up to 5,
Yeah.
and then unlimited after that.
But I think what she says is, we've also discovered that why would you now choose 3?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if it's multiple, then you must say 5 simultaneous
Yeah.
users
Yeah.
or 3 simultaneous users. Then you know
I
you
agree.
buy 3 and you buy unlimited. And unlimited must be unlimited.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
If they have an internal limit on unlimited, we want to know that.
Yeah, but if there's a limit, it's not unlimited.
Yeah,
Then it's
yeah.
multiple.
But they say it's never unlimited. It's always 99. Computers can't work on unlimited.
So these
Yeah,
are
but in
different.
terms of what we understand.
Yeah.
It's like being forever access, but it's actually 10 years. That's actually what it is. There's no legal term longer than 10 years.
And what do you mean by frequency 4 years?
That's a book series, so you are
Yeah.
integrating
4 times a year.
e-books and book series.
And it's 4 per year, I
So you
assume.
want
Yeah.
to look sharp when you place your orders, don't
This is book series ebook.
Can you separate the format, filter by format? To filter out book series and focus only on ebooks? Can you do that?
Would you, could you find anywhere on the screen if you could do that?
Where do I hit a click?
On the left.
No.
Look
No,
for
look
the
for-
option.
look
Is
for
there an
filters.
option to limit?
Okay, there's an option. Multiple access level, audience, supplier, publication level, subject, publishers, language, purchase model, price range, platform fees, and restrictions. What do you want?
No, this is
We
what,
want to limit the book series from the individual book titles. We only want to see the individual book titles.
Oh my goodness, I can't see it if I quickly look on it. It's not, doesn't look if that's possible. I
What's
mean,
the
otherwise we must.
subscription? If you go down, there's a
That's
subscription versus something wrong with it. Purchase model. Would that-
Subscription and perpetual.
But that's something different.
you have gone through it already. I mean, we've
No,
seen it on
I
the
can't
screen.
see.
It's been there.
Unless,
it?
unless you want to do it publication level.
Individual versus packages. Is that-
Yeah, probably not there.
But that means individual titles. instance. And then, I mean, within a series you can also have an individual title and you can purchase an individual title. So,
Well,
I mean-
it's important that you should be able to make the distinction
Yeah.
when you are
so yeah, I know. I mean, some of the places you can actually order a series within a platform. And then you order that series and then you get all the books that is part of that series. So,
Yes, but
So
you
you-
to send to us in procurement, you
Yeah.
need to know what
That's
you
right.
send.
you know,
You must not think a book series is an e-book, so you need to know what you.
no, but I
filtering
sometimes
out.
am interested in buying a specific series.
Isn't it?
But then the option must be there.
Yeah.
Then it must not be called publication level.
What,
Because I don't think publication level is e-book or e-book series.
what is a better terminology then?
Publication level and build titles, packages.
I mean, I can understand individual titles,
Yeah.
but we don't see packages as a book series.
Ah.
I mean, a package from in my terms can be a journal package or a subject collection or something like that. Package is a lot of things. I think you must use the words that you use when you describe the title. If there's options to limit to ebook series, then ebook series must be an option
Exactly.
there. Whether you should call it publication level, I don't know. Because
I actually
publication
don't-
level
I-
sounds like a high-end school and
I don't,
academic
you're
or
right.
something like that.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah,
understand what
publication level and
level-
individual, that is not
The
the...
fact is, if you click on the book series item, are you entering into a subscription? Or is it because an e-book normally implies to us a once-off, a single type of purchase? And we need to distinguish that from your running subscription
It's a
base.
purchase
Yeah.
model. There is a
And
purchase model.
they need to be guided as to which is which. So where
Yeah.
is the...
Yeah.
How does that not go well now? I mean, obviously, something's missing from that
I
guide.
would say they need to be able to filter and
Yeah, you
start
can.
saying,
Subscription
I want
potential
to
on the
look
side.
for e-books.
No, there you can
Or
say
I
subscription.
want to look for subscription-based materials.
Under purchase model and filter.
You know what I'm also missing here? I would actually like and set up a profile for myself. I would go in and I would, in a profile, I would actually, click certain things. Say that I'm looking for multiple access books, I'm looking for perpetual access, whatever, and maybe even look for specific, want to filter out dates that I only want to look at the last year, and maybe I'm interested in a specific publisher. Like I only want to look at, Edward Elgar or whatever, and filter all those and get a list of those titles.
But now what happens under advanced search? What options are there? Because often you can do that sort of searching there if there's enough options.
Yes.
Where's the search? Catalog suppliers. It's under there's search.
Now,
There's
top
nothing
right-hand
there.
corner.
Top right.
Okay, it's up right. Oh, search there.
No, there, under search. Under it.
Under it.
Oh, there is. Can I click on it?
It does nothing right now.
Is there nothing?
No.
Okay.
But I can tell you what's in there because we have got that for another. There's a whole lot in there. Actually, can we show it? Oh, we don't have connection. What's in there what is in there actually by heart? I don't even know.
It allows you to do field search, so you define which field you want to search for. So if you're looking specifically for a author, you can search on the author field and restrict. While the quick search, you can just put an ISBN and it will retrieve it as well. But if you just want to search for a specific ISBN field, then you would have to use.
Now, under your advanced search, can you search for more than just the bibliographic things? You know, what Mauritius just talked about, where you want to limit to perpetual access or to a publisher or to whatever, not just author title, ISBN, series sort of thing.
Not on the existing one. The existing one, you can do author, ISBN, you can do your dates to, from, etc. These are now the upgraded features that we're proposing that would now allow you to do.
May I come back to your remark about personal filter settings?
Yes.
So would you like then to see a personalized filter window on your left as soon as you made those settings in your profile?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Is that,
Okay,
and
I
every
think
time
that
you start up the system, you see that same...
my profile, you know,
Yours-
my customized
exactly, window.
It's
window.
it's very useful to be able to
Yeah.
save your profile so that you can
Yeah.
use it again and again, and not just for that session.
Exactly.
Because so many search functions, you can do it for that session, and then when you log on again, oh, it's gone. You've got to
Yeah.
start all over
Yeah.
again.
You want to save all
Very
those.
useful.
I mean, and it's nice also to have sort of a folder where you could, whenever you maybe decide and you choose certain items, individual items. But I do find sometimes very difficult. A lot of these aggregators only give you an option to do a general search, and then they have a click box where you actually need to mark certain of those titles, and then you can actually export them. So you can either export them to your folder, and then it must be able actually also to export them in Excel sometimes. Sometimes you actually want to manipulate, or you want to do some things outside. And another thing that I sometimes find very difficult, if I have a list of specific titles, then I do find it sometimes very cumbersome, because I need to I search one title, and then it must be an easy process to quickly add that to your folder. You know, if you search the title and there's maybe a click box and you just get export or whatever to folder, and then you could give that folder a name and actually build up a list of titles. Because what I do is, I mean, on Monday I'll maybe get a request if I'm looking for free ebooks. I mean, I'm not going to order that free books immediately. I will actually want to build up a list, and I want actually to have it electronically available somewhere that I can...
Wish list.
Yeah, a wish list. So that I can actually, you know, build my list, and when I have about, say, 30 or 50 titles, then I'll actually put an order in. Is there a wish list on goodness, why don't I see
Yeah, right.
anything?
Right at the top.
Right at the top, Marita.
The thing, I don't see anything.
Right at the top.
Look out.
Yeah.
Shopping. Oh, here it is. Wish list. Okay, yeah.
Oh, there's 47. Click and
That's
see.
47. Can I click on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So those would be things that you're holding for consideration and finalisation, right?
Because the request doesn't all come in together in a neat little list from an end user. Now, the requests come via request from our library catalogue of, to say, items the library should require, so it goes into a list where the collection developers can harvest them. Or it's an email, or it's a piece of paper that come on your desk, so you build up.
I see you've
a
got
list.
here print, export, delete, and here you've got all items. Department of Justice, a breakdown of. So is that a folder that I've created? Department of Justice and Department of Physics. So, and there I can create a new one, and there I can actually upload. What do you upload here?
What would you expect to upload?
If I look at upload, maybe if I have a list, okay,
And
if I've marked a list, I upload it to that. It would be a sort of a command, you know, upload it to my existing list. So,
Yes, the idea there is that you, if you would get a list, a request from another person in the library,
yeah.
and he would say, I need this titles, this 10 titles, and then this person sends a list to you. You can upload that list
Okay.
and make it into your wish list for consideration for purchase.
Okay, so it's actually a list, external list, outside. It's not in the system.
Must that list be in a predetermined format?
Yes, we will define the format, but it should be very generic so that also users would be able to have that. Normally we would have at least ISBN per title.
And then would you verify the items in that list one by one against your database? Or can you run the entire list for availability as one action?
Yes, the idea is to match that list to see if there is in the database.
Okay.
Must you do it one by one?
No, she must match the list.
Yeah, in bulk. So
Okay.
you
That's-
upload the
that's-
list and then it does the matching.
Okay, that's
Items that
wonderful.
would not have match, we would get notified and then we would go after that portfolio to add to our catalog.
Okay, another thing is,
If
That
possible.
sounds wonderful.
yeah, that
Yes.
sounds wonderful. I mean, I
What do you
definitely
match?
have that need,
ISBN or something.
you know, from time to time you get a list. Because with your WorldCat Select, I mean, I would send in a list of books to the lecturers or academics, and then they will sometimes mark those. And then I get it back, and I actually prefer first to look at what's available electronically. So if I actually could then match that, upload that list and match it to what's available in your catalogue.
But now, have your catalogue records got the EISBN only, or the print one as well? Because then you've got to only match lists. If it's only the E, then you're only matching lists that have got EISBNs. So then you can't use it to see whether a print list is actually available in E. You know, a list of print books is available in E because you're matching two different
Okay, but
ISBNs.
it should match against the title as well.
Titles,
It doesn't-
can't match.
Yeah, but remember now, this is an e-book catalog. So one would assume it's matching for e-books.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I want. So, I
Yeah.
mean, if you type the
Yeah, but-
title in, and if the title is correct, it means actually you're going to get that book.
Yeah, there
If
won't
you
be
have a
any
title and
surprises.
author, so-
You see, with
Yeah.
titles, you've got to have it exact. And if you've got a slightly different subtitle, or you forget the subtitle, or you add it and they haven't got it, or whatever, title doesn't really matter.
See, the problem is that if you work with an end user, they accept what they get. But if you work with collection developers, we want correct
We want
information.
precise.
We don't want to find out that your title list didn't match after the semicolon in the middle of the title list, and we still need to go and do manual searching someplace else. Then it must, if it's a collection development tool, it must be working 100%. Because it must make our life easier.
And we must preferably not take punctuation into
Yes,
consideration, because this is
exactly.
one of the problems with searching in certain databases with subtitles. Because you've got a general title like Introduction to Physics, and then you've got a lovely subtitle that makes it specific. But some of them have a space, some of them have a colon, some of them have a space and a colon and a space, and so it goes on. And if they match on spaces and punctuation, forget it, you can't match.
In this-
Having said that, I must tell you that system you want is magic.
I know it is.
But they
I
deserve it.
have been into things like Quest, EBSCO, what, and I find I can search up to 6 times. And I will pull that title.
Yeah,
It is
I-
in there.
It's there, but you've got
Heaven
to look
knows
for it.
why it isn't coming out
For the first time.
the first time.
Books
So
and print is like
I
that
don't,
too.
because you could kill yourself just trying to solve this one
Yeah.
particular aspect.
I've just done an
You
exercise
will
now.
have a problem. But what worries me is that very often, for instance, my iLibrary have my iLibrary ISBN.
Yes, that as well.
Now, the variety of ebook ISBNs, I don't know if you can cater for that as well. You've also noticed that. And my iLibrary refuse to deal with you unless you quote them the my iLibrary ISBN. They don't want to know about any other ISBN. So I don't myself understand why there's this range of ISBNs, but it is a feature in these databases.
Yes, because we get all these different ISBNs from the feeds, we would make it available to the screen, so all of them are attached to that item. But going back to the comparison of the upload list, if we can ignore punctuations and spaces, these kind of things, by software rule. But for example, if there were similar titles to the one that we couldn't match 100%, would you like to see we find some similar ones? Do you mean this one or this one? Would you like to go a little bit further on that matching?
Yeah, it would actually maybe nice if you could see it and maybe say exact match not found. You know, then you know you couldn't find that one, you know. And another thing, I want to go back to the diacritics. I know I sometimes copy and paste if I have a list, and then I don't want to retype it. So I know now I can copy and paste in eBrary, and it works perfect. But I can't do that in my iLibrary. It doesn't want diacritics or punctuation or spaces or anything. So I have to retype the title. So it is nice what Erin mentioned there. You know, that you ignore things like that.
Yeah. And the thing is that English do not have a lot of diacritics, but other languages in which we work here does have diacritics.
Which other language would you work?
Well, Afrikaans for one. I mean, I assume that one day your catalogue will include other languages but English.
And if you're looking at French.
And French and German and those languages that it actually displays or copies correctly.
If you have a profile here, what also would be nice if you could put up some sort of alert service. If you have decided on a specific topic that you actually want to be alert on new titles that are published in that, and you could actually have a place where you could please not to my email, but a place on the system where you can actually go into and see what new ebooks are now available on that topic. I think that would also be quite valuable. Otherwise, you yourself need to go and browse from time to time to see that you don't miss all the new stuff, or you do have to do frequent searches on the newest books that you have. So that would actually be a very nice feature.
So you would not like to see this sent to your email, but into the system. So
well, maybe you could give an
remind?
option, but the problem is we get so many emails that at the end you just ignore them. You can't keep up with it. I would rather prefer, and I don't know my colleagues, to go onto the system and see the folders there and look at my emails, and if I could maybe perhaps export those title lists. If I ask for a specific, say something on environmental economics, for instance, and I could get the newest books on environmental economics, and I could actually export it and I could email it. Or even if you have an email option, what would be nice, then you actually have is there an email option? Okay, there is export, okay. But for all, where's the email?
So how would you want to circulate a list of new ebooks to your department or lecturers?
What I normally do is, in WorldCat Select, if I will actually mark, mark certain records, and they have an option where you can say email, and then what I do find difficult, then I have to type the email address. It doesn't store the email address. I actually would like to have a place where I could just go, drop down list, where I could just see where's this email and click on it and it's immediately there. And I normally have the same message, so I would actually like to set up some standard message that I don't have to type in the whole message again. So this is not really my wish list for a system, where I can actually click then, maybe if I have a few examples of standardized messages, and just decide which one I want here and just click on it and it's immediately there. I will put my signature and everything before. I'm sending the site same type of message all over and over again. Why do I need to type it again and again? But maybe a place where I could, if I want to add something specifically to the lecture, and then just say email, and they, the only other thing is, what I do sometimes find, I've got a message in most of where I'm from World Cat Select where I actually, what I do find is sometimes in the email address, it's very important what's on top in the message field. You know, it could be very confusing because if they just reply, it's important to look at the setup. If it must be meaningful what is in the message field. They must immediately know where it comes from. I mean, there need to be some careful thinking into that area.
So who do you send this email to?
I would send it to directly either to a personal librarian or to a specific academic. I know maybe he's interested in specific these titles, then or this specific this topic, and what I normally tell them is just to maybe mark those ones highlighted in yellow that he's interested in, and send it back to me. So that would be
the idea here. This is this is our vision, and of course there are many steps until we get to that vision. But the idea is that we would like these other people also to interact in the system if they wanted, of course, so that they can also set up their own wish lists, or you can set up the make the list and send it to this person and say, hey, I have, instead of sending via email, you would do it via the system. So you say, you can tell him, give him a message saying, I prepared a list for you for the titles that you would be interested. Can you mark the ones that you do want to purchase, and then do everything in the same system? How would
then
that?
they need to log onto the system. You see, that I do find the academics do not do that.
Okay.
They don't want to be involved in having more passwords and systems.
Yeah.
I don't know if Terry Lynn, if that's your experience as well, but my lecturers, they prefer that I actually do the things, email it to them. It's funny, I actually have a standard email. I actually send them one title, and then I say just reply and say yes or no to make it quickly for them. And then I've decided at this stage, okay, if I've been on leave for say 2 weeks or so, and you came back, then and suddenly there's enormous lot of alerts. So I've actually combined a few titles, and then they still say reply. I've put a new message in and said, please highlight those titles, and they just reply and say yes. So I had to phone them and say, please. So they don't even read the message, they sort of are conditioned to work in a specific way because they don't really have time. So I make it as simple as possible for them so that I can get feedback as quick as possible. And now, this process works very quickly because they just quickly look at the title. They actually want to see the title, and then it's nice if there's a little summary on that specific book, or a table of content, that they just can quickly just scan and see if that's what they, and of course the other things that's nice is if you know what's the level, if there's an undergraduate, is it undergraduate and postgraduate, is it general, because we sometimes do get a lot of books that, like economic books that's quite general. For the general public, okay, sometimes you want to buy a general book, but we tend to focus on the more academic books, like your postgraduate and your undergraduate. Anything you would like to add to the levels?
This the audience for the book. I just would like to understand the process there. So, for example, if you would you come to the system with this task to look for ebooks for a specific target audience, or it would be part of your workflow each time you come to the system?
You see, the way I function is actually we use WorldCat Select at the moment as our alerting system. So I actually want to scan at what is the newest books available at the moment, as wide as possible, that cover my profiles. I have profiles of my subjects and my academics. So in my mind, I actually, when I go through WorldCat Select and I looked at all the new titles, I actually know what I'm looking for. So, but I don't want to, the problem is so many things are published, you actually don't want to miss. So I would probably still use WorldCat, because you're not going to have a comprehensive list here of all the publishers that has all the books published in a specific area, because I'm not only going to buy ebooks. I mean, the content is important to me. So if I want a specific book and that book is not available electronically, I'm still going to buy that book. So for me, the broad spectrum of what is published and the quality of what is published, that's why I do selection. I mean, you do selection because you want to build up a good collection of, say, economics books that match your academic profile. So that is my focus point.
So you would like to see if that book is also available not from us, print or...
Yeah, of course. So I would actually look at that, my list, and then what I normally do is I look in. I know there's quite a broad spectrum of things that I get involved at, and then I look if it's available electronically. So that's when you list that you can upload onto maybe on your system and actually see what matches and what doesn't match. But your starting point is what is published for this year in my subject area. The red is that you don't get a contrast.
No,
we're
just looking at some of the other options on the screen. I mean, I think you also want to know the screen design.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but we're listening very closely to it's very
Okay,
interesting.
Now, if you design the back end, of course, you need all this information.
It's very interesting.
Okay,
You
yeah,
get a
I'm more
lot of,
interested in it.
first-hand.
In getting all.
If you indicate share, I presume that takes care of all this liaison with colleagues or departments.
Facebook.
What happens if you click on share?
Facebook and all those 50 other stuff that you can share it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
is
is
that
Yeah.
your way of communicating?
Oh, share there.
Yeah, because I know here we don't use these things because we, as a country, we're not on all these things. But I know overseas, all these sharing networks are very important for people. They don't work with email anymore. They share the announcement of books on Facebook pages or all these scholarly network places.
Okay, that's where we actually
Yeah.
should have think of having email in
Yes,
terms
that
of.
Oh, we would have email.
That was
yeah.
the intention.
Yeah.
You would share it via email.
Yeah,
Yeah.
email is an option there. If you click on share,
If you click on share,
share means send it to somebody. Well, is it already activated on the screen now?
We're still trying to find out what we should
Okay,
put
so
there.
it's not
I'm a
activated.
heavy online newspaper user, and I know that you share and then you can email there. Email is an option, but sometimes you want
Okay.
actually to have email as an option. If you are using it a lot, you don't always want to look for email
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
share, that block that comes up with all the
Okay, so it
things.
means with share and then you get the different
Maybe we are a bit behind.
means of
Yeah.
sharing.
Okay, so you would actually like to see an email?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
think
use-
we are a bit behind in that. Is that
Could be
you
that.
might actually want email as an option separately from all those shares.
I don't know if that's beyond. I think it's like you say, it's just a click less.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The thing is, because the way we function here is, I mean, email just work the most effective
Yeah.
to get feedback back, because everybody logs onto their email and they're not necessarily going to log onto Facebook. And then there's so many different Facebook, entry points where you look at and that actually.
Will this have an option to build a shared wish list? Say, for example, that all your departments can then, instead of working by email and you don't have record of it, can they also build up here and then somebody logs in and just draws a list? Is this the idea?
Yes, so
Okay, so you don't then work with
different
emails and
rights.
so on. Yeah.
different price. So one user would have the rights to look for the book and set up his own list, but not actually order.
Yeah.
And the orderer would consolidate these lists. So you see different lists there: Department of Justice, Department of Physics, and there would be a master list, which is the one that you're saying. So you can see that one belongs to the Department of Justice wish list, and this is the consolidated one.
For instance,
But do you have a shared account that the Department of Justice can build up a wish list there from various academics who log in and make their own thing there?
We were not
So you
talking about
only-
the academics,
okay.
but just the
Okay,
library
the
staff.
librarian.
Okay, so
library
only the
staff,
library
yeah.
staff.
Now, for us, it's really important that the selection and the creation of the list is separate from where the order is placed. Because we can't order without an order number.
Yes.
So we can't order directly from these back ends.
Well, then you
which
go
is
to now
genes,
add to
there's-
cart.
Yeah.
And then you would then go to your ordering function.
Yeah.
Could I just ask if you, the request quotation, what does that, what's that function for?
So tallying up the price
So
in
for
one list.
pricing for what?
Yes. Any other ideas what this would
I think
do?
they want us to know is what do we think it does. I think
You are
it
quoting the
creates,
price
yeah,
here
yeah, it
per
creates the
each
list.
option
Yeah.
already. So that's just why I wondered why would you still need a request quotation there?
Is it then tallying up the results of all the prices in your list, and it tells you your list value is now $20,000 or what?
If you go to
That
the
what it
bottom
does.
of the page, you may.
Yeah. Okay, bottom of the page.
Ask the
Oh,
question.
okay.
So you've selected.
Okay, so
Is it my perception if I leave request quotation, then I know there's not a price available for that specific book,
That's,
and that could also mean that book isn't available anymore.
that's
So
exactly
that
it.
is my experience from most of these aggregators. If I have to request a price, it's not available.
So would you say then request quotation is worded wrong?
Request quotation, well, I mean, sometimes you get to know the system, and then you know what means request quotation. So I know now on my iLibrary, I'm used to the word request quotation, and I know it means either they don't have the price or the book is no longer available. So,
But
Yeah,
normally
so,
your workflow would be create your list of titles, then request quotation, so it's going to add up to 3,000 something euros. Then you are asked to confirm this as a final order, which is actually where your process breaks off and our acquisition one should begin. So
yeah, I would like to know if you say ask quotation, do you know where the quotation ask goes to? I mean, I would have assumed it totals the price. You've now created your list, you've got your little thing that you want to think. I would have said, okay, it now tells you what is the status of that list. But if there's now two unknown price, if I now say ask quotation, where does it go to? Will you now on our behalf get a quotation from a publisher? Is that what it's going to mean?
Yes. The idea here is that for exactly, you're correct. If the price is not available, the list
Yeah.
price is not available here in our catalog,
Yeah.
you would have an opportunity to
Ask
either
you, yeah.
either
ask you.
request a price. In the previous page we saw that there was a link
Yeah.
for request a price.
Yeah.
So that one you can request and get the price for that one. But if there are more than a few items in this list, in your wish list, that there is no price available, then you send this message to the sweat staff who would go after this information to you. And then when this information is available, it would be available here. So you will get a message saying your quotation is ready, your wish list, we can quote the entire wish list and you're ready to order.
But you see, we don't want to wait for the wish list to be completed before we order. I mean, if you have now worked your 30 list, say you've got your 50, you don't want to wait for 2 titles where there's no price.
So you would
You
order
want to remove
28.
those 2 titles because you've done your job.
I would do
You want to
that.
now order 48.
I would do
And
that,
now-
do that other separate.
Yeah, because you can't wait
Yeah.
for your list because
If I
tomorrow
notice-
new
yeah.
titles come in again and you start rather with a new
No,
list.
normally.
You rather want to park those 2
Yeah.
to say, okay, they didn't have a price for this, I'm parking them someplace
Yeah,
else
I would
because I'm not
rather
finishing
put
what
them-
I've got.
I would put them in a separate file.
Otherwise you'll never
and,
finish.
and
So
then,
can
Yeah.
shouldn't you have a click here? I know I've got to keep my mouth shut. I
Yeah.
can't. Shouldn't you have a click here to say wish list now go to cart? I want to order. So it goes from your wish list. You now said yes. I want to order from the wish list
Yeah.
to go straight over to shopping cart.
Yeah,
to
but it's not
order.
always the same people who do that. So it's,
no, not,
Yes, but you're right, Helen. Maybe Mr.
Yeah.
Elton.
Yeah, so that you
Ah,
say,
yeah.
you know,
Yes,
yeah, it's true. You want to actually say, I'm now finished with this. I'm satisfied. 3,000 euros is what I know I can afford. I'm now finished with selecting my numbers of users. The collection developer now wants to send it next step on. And then it goes to
Let me
Yeah.
tell
the
you,
procurement
the
people.
shopping cart
let
and,
me
yeah.
tell you what
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
platform does that I think is really the best for everyone. Is you've created your list and you're happy with the pricing and all. There's a submit button. But what then happens is the list goes into an acquisition space and I get an email saying one of your selectors has placed a list for purchase. And there's a link. I click on it, I go straight to her list. I have the ability to delete or change the list, which I wouldn't. But I then, from the acquisitions division, confirm that order to the supplier. And that works like a dream. So, I don't know what you have.
But you can track back to that list. The list has like an identity number or something, because that's also what I'm looking at here. If you are in a wish list is so long before you've actually finalized your decision. So I assume from this you will go to your list that says, now I want to order. And I would think that if you, because what's now the difference between a wish list and a shopping cart? Because shopping cart is where you go, if you work on Amazon, you work and you put your stuff in your shopping cart and then you say, okay, I like it, now I shop.
The
So
big
between
difference-
wish list and shopping cart, this is like an in-between stuff.
Maybe it would be a good time to have a look at the shopping cart.
Yeah.
But to answer the question, here you can actually say submit and it'll go to you.
Yeah.
Whereas in a shopping cart, you cannot even say submit, only you could.
it go directly to the order or from your shopping cart to ordering.
The-
That,
You are the order, you are the person
Final
who
person,
has
yeah.
the right to press that button and say, I'm ready to order, I have my order number and stuff. Now you are developing the collection, so you will have different rights. So when you're ready, exactly, that is sent to you, you get that message, and then you will be the one who will be dealing with the shopping cart, not her. She's dealing with wish list.
you see what's sometimes confusing in some of these platforms? I'm always sometimes afraid to say submit because I don't exactly know if this is going to go to Jean, if this is going to directly being ordered. You know, so it must be clear to me that I am sending this to the purchaser.
So send list to Jean would make
Or,
it clear.
yeah, or, yeah, send this, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, send this for ordering or
Exactly.
something like that. Because I know in my iLibrary we actually work directly on the shopping cart. So there is a button there that I can actually press and say send, but Jean told us please don't do that. So what you do is you actually mark your title list, you put it in the shopping cart and it works perfectly. You can delete it, you just should not press that button. So you deleted it, you do everything there, and then you just send Jean an email. And say, I mean, I'm actually working on this over months. You know, I'm not necessarily, because maybe this week I'm selecting 5 and next week 10. So maybe at the end of the month I actually want. So I actually don't want Jean to now order this 5 or order this. Yeah, maybe it's not a bad idea. Maybe then you get the things earlier. So it doesn't really matter.
The point really is that the platform designers make certain assumptions about workflows. Now, my library assumes that the collection developer is also the procurement person, and therefore doesn't have the option to first pass the list to another authorization place. And that is what makes it difficult. Now you have to do a workaround. Marita may compile in their shopping cart but not submit. She must find another way to get that list to me, and it's
And another thing,
but the other platforms do offer this from her to me, to you, and that suits us.
another need that I also have. When I have this in my wish list, this long list in my wish list, or even in the shopping cart, I also want to sometimes export. And some of the and I also sometimes actually want to export it in an Excel spreadsheet and also be able to calculate the price, because sometimes we put it on a file on our F drive, so that we have that complete list.
But it is there.
Okay,
But is this what they have done, what you would like?
Yeah, but okay, why I'm saying this. In eBrewery, some of the platforms, you can export the initial list with prices and everything, but when you go in the shopping cart, after you've compiled your list, you can't export it from there. One of them, I was in my iLibrary.
It doesn't matter, but it's...
Yeah, but I sometimes have, finalized the thing. And okay, I mean, otherwise I have now to, it's just nice from there also. Your finalized list.
You see, our requirement here, and I'm sure it's sometimes in other libraries as well, is that once you've finalized your list and you're now placing the order and it goes to our procurement to Jean who actually does the order, now it's matching up the invoices with the mark records and what the collection developer have ordered in the end. So somewhere there must be a fixed list attached to that specific order, and that's to keep track of that list. And we have now also added this year that just as you are doing inventory control of the print books on your shelf, they're going to start with inventory control of our electronic books, because the auditors want it. They want to know, in 2011, we bought 55 titles from Taylor & Francis. They want to see, here's the order, here's the title list, and check that all those titles are available in your catalogue. Because your library catalogue is your record of purchase in the long run. And that they were going to sit with 55 titles and check those 55 titles, or every 10th title, or whatever the requirement is, that it must still be accessible. An e-book that's missing is more missing than a print book that's missing. And if your catalogue doesn't reflect what you've ordered, that is where the money goes to. So you want from your link must be, in the long run, your workflow must close the link from the collection developer selecting the list, what is paid for, what is paid, the invoice list, the mark records, and then 2 or 3 years later, is it still available?
Let's see. Maybe we should go back to
Did you want to show the shopping cart?
Yeah, let's do this. Let's do
Let's
the
talk
shopping
about
cart, and then we'll talk
shopping
about the
cart.
orders and
Let's
the
talk
item
about
information. The idea here is we want to know what information do you want to see here in your shopping cart, because you are ready to order, you are happy with what is in there, What information do you want to see here in this short film?
It's also important to see if there's multiple access, unlimited
What
access.
was your selection?
Is it important for you as an order to see that there's different types of, whether it's single or multiple?
Now you want to see what is the selection you have made.
Yeah,
Yeah, you want to
Yeah.
see I have selected this book for multiple user,
unlimited
or
use.
perpetual access, or whatever was the options in the original one.
It is.
Where
don't
you
see
had
it.
to make your selection, you want to see it there. If you actually want to change it now.
There's
Or
the
you
title.
don't see it here now.
No, I see there's one of purchase. I assume what's the quantity, one book. Well, I assume it will always be one book.
I see it as one as it's one order for that specific option.
Do you mean?
I mean,
Yeah, that's
Do you mean quantity there? Does it mean the number of users that you've purchased?
Why don't we go back to the catalog, order a book, so
Yeah.
say add to cart, and we'll see it, because it really works. So if we go back to, the and maybe it'd be more clear for us at least.
Yeah.
okay, you mean do it and
Yeah,
I'll
you
go
can
through
Yeah,
the
actually-
process.
Try to order, because,
Okay, shall we just use one of these?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so if
May
I...
I ask you? Okay, let's do this first. Because
Okay, so I
questions there.
use the mango and I wanted unlimited users. Okay, so... Okay, now that's not... You see now, I actually want here a click box saying,
This is
okay,
what I
it's
want
now
you to
confusing to me. If I wanted to, if I want to order it, do I
think
go
you need
into
to
the book?
open it up more fully.
Yeah, you see, but it's I've
Do
already
you want
here.
to work at summary level?
Yes, exactly. This is also, would you
Okay.
be prepared to send this to Shopping Cart
If
right now?
if I know exactly the title I'm looking for, and if I could see the ISBN and I want that specific title, I have no need to really go into the summary. I would like from this space here already. I want to put it in. I want to click and say add to wish list.
Scroll down,
Because
you'll
I-
see where the different options come up as well, from the different suppliers.
Scroll down.
Scroll down to a different title, because it's showing you different things here, okay? So
Okay,
showing
supplier
you
there.
single
There's a
issue,
supplier.
e-brief.
Okay, maybe we should.
Yeah, but what she's
For-
saying is, if she wants to buy off the books,
Yeah.
you know the title, it's famous book, you want to order it, you want to click it right
Okay,
there.
for instance, say in that specific
Oh.
book you can see
Okay.
there is only one supplier. Why would I then go and look in detail into who is the supplier? I mean, okay,
Yeah.
it would
Yeah,
actually be
it's-
nice to see the supplier's name
Yeah.
here, of course.
You have to
But-
click on show more.
Okay, so I'll go into
Yeah.
show more.
See, there's two
Oh, I see.
suppliers.
Okay, on the screen. Okay, that's nice. So I can see this is single user from eBury, unlimited users from eBury.
And what the price will be.
Okay, so now I want to say I want the unlimited users from eBury. So now do I go into in there? And here, print, export, share. Purchase option. Or package option 1.
So it is forcing you
There's
to
a
examine
price,
the
Total
detail.
price and it's
Screen.
ordering information. First order, platform fees. Oh, you give all the information, all the detail of eBrewery in there.
Okay, it's an Elsevier book. So you only have detail from the aggregators.
Yeah, where the ebooks are going to be accessed by.
Can we make a limit to say Elsevier books are not allowed to be purchased here? Is it an option that we can set up?
Okay.
Or a warning to say, because we don't want people to go and buy one limit user license at Wiley, if we can buy unlimited user licenses at Wiley, and we already have the platform set up and we have the license and,
Okay, but that's where you put that in your profile.
no, but that's on this institutional profile.
Okay, so it means you want the
Because
institutional profile.
I want
okay.
to stop you from buying encyclopedias on the aggregator.
Okay.
Because
So,
I buy at the unlimited access
Okay,
discounts.
that's a profile that means
An institutional profile.
And this
This is
covers all of us.
Yeah.
It should also show you the
Yeah.
license conditions. as
Yeah,
well.
but the thing is, I look at that, but we also have separate licenses because we negotiate something else. I mean, we also have, I see there's $500 platform fee.
Rita, go to the middle there.
Scroll down there.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the standard restrictions or the standard conditions I assume you get from Wiley or what else.
Mhm.
But if we negotiate other things. So for example, with Elsevier, we don't pay a platform fee if we have an online journal package. So we don't have the standard agreement.
So that you would like to say.
Okay, so it doesn't
Their
apply.
agreement is only if you are now the new library and you're buying one book. But when you have multiple businesses with a publisher, you can negotiate other stuff.
Is that then the information you would like to see here, you mean?
Well, I would say it's fine if you have the standard thing there because you wouldn't know what we have. But if there's an option that maybe you can say it's different for Unisa, then it's like an institutional setup.
Next step on the workflow.
Yeah. And we
So shall we
we-
send this to the shopping cart? I'm just a bit where we
Okay, if
can.
I want to send it to the shopping cart, you see now I'm not sure, so I go up here.
No, you still have to add it to the shopping cart.
You see, that's not now
Where
quite
does
clear
she
to
do
me.
it?
Where do I send it?
Right down.
Yeah, well, seeing that this is a demo,
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
what would normally happen is here, if you go up a little bit to the middle,
Yeah. Go up to,
Go up.
yeah.
Yeah. Here,
Down,
yeah,
yeah.
here in this space,
Yeah.
you could add it to cart.
You can what?
Add it to your cart.
Okay, because,
Oh, okay.
okay, so what must I do now?
Well,
It's-
Yeah, this
That's
is
a little
okay.
workaround.
Yeah.
If you go back, you can, to the previous
Do you
page.
mean to the previous screen? Okay, back. Can I just click there and go back?
And I'll click on either the cover or the tag. I should not do it this way, but
Yeah.
it doesn't.
But I do think one would like to see
Okay,
adding to
so how
your
do I
list.
add it then?
If you go, well,
From here?
So has it gone into the cart now?
no, not yet.
No, it's not into the card, it's the same screen that we
Oh,
had.
Those
No,
are
no,
the
it's a
cards.
different
Very-
Is it a
Okay.
different screen?
Just go down, Rita. There you go.
Okay, oh, I see. Purchase options. Okay, well,
I don't know, we would like to.
okay, here I can click then add to cart.
What do you,
Okay,
A
so
block with a
I've
tick in.
decided
a
on
checkbox?
Yeah, checkbox.
And then?
Then it will do what you tick.
Yeah, I'm
And
also
that'll be-
looking for a tick box, you know, so that if I have a list, I can say, I want this one, I don't want this one, I want that one, I don't want that one, you know. And then I click add to cart.
Here's,
Yeah, license, okay.
so this is what you mentioned earlier, right? That your institution doesn't have a license with the supplier yet.
Can I view the
Yeah,
shopping
or
cart?
no,
Yes.
number one, we
Yes.
may not
Okay.
have a license, but we may have a license.
See,
So that it will
Yes.
say the, your,
Sorry,
Oh, yeah.
go back,
Would be low.
no, go
could you
back.
add another one to the
That's-
cart?
We need
Any
to
other?
load our licenses.
sorry?
Do we need to load our licenses?
Okay, so when I go, then I have to
We
go
need to
back. Okay,
do
then
that's
I have
exactly
to
here,
go,
here.
now I'm again in this.
Marita,
Yeah, on
we're
the-
trying to look at this.
The
Just,
license.
just I'll look
Okay.
at. Okay, so this mean it will tell,
Yes, unless we have made a change to it.
I don't think we have, no.
Okay, so
because
here it is telling you that you have a.
you don't have a
You don't have a
license.
license. So, you have two options here. One is to do the shopping cart and the other one
But you see
is
now
to
you're
resolve
working,
that issue of the
yeah, but you
license.
see the collection developer is not going to resolve that.
How is it?
Because
together?
they can order, we sort it out later on.
Yes, but she's not gonna add anything to shopping cart if I understand, because she's working on wish lists. The person
would be me.
who is
No.
able to order, does this person have the authority to proceed with that, to decide whether we want to sign up a new license?